If you've only come into the Mass Effect series with the Legendary Edition, you've missed one of the best multiplayer editions in gaming history. Okay, maybe that's a little overselling it, but it's still pretty damn good. 4-player squads defending strategic locations throughout the Mass Effect universe, multiple customizable playable races, and a variety of weapons to choose from. This is the brilliance of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Mass Effect 3 was always meant to have a multiplayer component, however it wouldn't be until Mass Effect 3 that this would come to fruition. Starting life as Mass Effect Team Assault, this would be a downloadable competitive multiplayer game and went into development in 2010, straight after Mass Effect 2. It would only be in development for 4 months before being put on the back burner. The project would eventually be scrapped, however their work would become the basis for Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. Mass Effect 3 would release in March of 2012 along with the multiplayer. One criticism here from the fans is that it was tied to the main campaign. Now I hate it when the game forces you to play the multiplayer in order to get the best ending, and thankfully although it was tied to the main story, it wasn't essential. You could still get the best ending without it. It's just made this easier, that's all. You see, the multiplayer added to the war assets, improving the galactic readiness. However, just completing side missions would still get you enough in the main game. What I did like about the multiplayer in regards to the story is that it was tied to it indirectly. And what I mean by that is that during the events of the main campaign, Shepard will visit each of the multiplayer maps and defend them. In a sense, you're playing the multiplayer map for one round. Shepard then gets a call from Hackett, who informs you that you'll have a team station there to keep defending it should it get attacked again.
The enemy's pulling back, but we think they'll try to seize the facility again.
Seems likely.
I'm sending an Alliance team to keep it secure. They've got a foothold in a strong defensive position, thanks to you.
Therefore, it's completely optional, yet makes sense in the grand scale of the war. And because you're not playing as Shepard, this opened up the opportunity to play as every other species in the galaxy. When you first log on, you'll have a limited pool of characters you can choose from. All characters are obtained via loot boxes. Wait, before you start getting all cross about loot boxes, this isn't a PvP multiplayer, so the loot boxes are not pay to win. Remember, this came out a full 5 years before EA tried that dodgy practice with Star Wars. I suppose you could say this would be them dipping their toes in the water. However, you earn plenty of credits per round and you can open up these boxes quite regularly. In these boxes you'll get gear and you can use to improve your armour, your shields or weapons or Medigel. I always forget to bring the Medigel, much to my team's horror, as I lay there waiting for someone to pick me up.
Tim brought Medigel and then it worked. He almost forgot equipment, but one step at a time.
But you also unlock the characters you play. It's totally random and there isn't a way to cheese the system. If there's a certain character you want, you just have to wait until you're lucky enough to unlock it. All the species are here too, Asari, Taurians, Solarian, Quarians. You even get a Geth Prime and there's a possessed collector there too. Not each character is the same either. First they're split into class, so you've got your soldiers and your infiltrators, vanguards, etc. And within this class then you can choose which character suits your preferred playstyle. Each character has 3 special abilities such as biotic powers, cloaking or grenades, and it follows the Mass Effect 3 leveling structure. This does mean that you'll need to play some games as a low class player in order to level up. These characters are customizable too, so you can change their armor colour and name them to make them more unique to yourself. So now we've chosen a character, selected our weapons and our armor buffs, it's time to play. The game takes place over 11 rounds. They're fast paced and sometimes you'll need to hack devices and kill the enemies. Sometimes you'll need to hold a position and kill the enemies. And other times you'll have to escort a drone and kill the enemies. Or straight up you'll just have to kill the enemies. You get the picture. With the last round you'll have to get back to the pickup area for extraction, while wave after wave of enemies try to stop you. And speaking of enemies, there's a nice selection. You could be going up against the Collectors or Cerberus, the Geth or even Reaper forces. Each one has their grunts and then their formidable opponents such as the Atlases or the Banshees, and they can really hurt. Playing on the harder difficulty you just get swarmed by them. Speaking of which, there's 4 difficulty settings: Bronze, Silver, Gold and Platinum. As you can imagine, the enemies get tougher the higher up you go, but also the rewards increase. There's no turrets or cannons that you can use, it's just you versus them. If you get a good squad who can work well together, it can be a breeze, especially if you've got all chosen classes that complement each other. There are a few map packs that added new areas to fight in, and it's great that they kept them all nice and tight to keep that pace going. You'll need to have them all installed if you want to play. Mass Effect Legendary Edition could have included an updated version. To this day, over 10 years later, it still has a thriving community. I can't speak for console gamers, but if you play on PC and via Origin, I can guarantee that you won't have any problems finding a match. If you can, I suggest you pick up a copy of the original and give it a go. If you can't, I play right here with some amazing people on the channel every Saturday at 9 PM British Standard Time, so come hang out, I'd love to see you there. If you enjoyed the video, and be sure to hit that like button or even the join button for membership. Big thank you to Nerdy Dude, the supporters, and you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Commander.